Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. And man, I really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to spend some time with me today. I'm always very appreciative of that. Guys, today we're going to be having a conversation that needs to be had because you don't hear about it much in the sport of fishing, and it's how bass fishing can ruin your life if you allow it to do so. There's some parts about it that, I've observed and witnessed and experienced myself that can be very, very damaging to your personal lives if you allow it to go down that road. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, just a quick reminder out there, just wanted to let everybody know that we have channel memberships here on Intuitive Angling. And if you sign up to be a channel member, you get extra videos every week that aren't seen by the public, some access to my personal email address for your fishing questions. And if you're interested, just go to my YouTube homepage and you'll see a little join button. Just hit that join button for more information. So much appreciated on that. Okay guys, here's the thing about it. I've been doing this for a freaking long time. I'm in bass fishing tournaments since the late 70s. It's been my full-time career since 1985. I've witnessed a ton of other anglers as far as their personal experiences with this. And I can tell you for sure that if you allow it to do so, bass fishing can have a very negative effect on your life. We're going to get into that in today's video. Now, there's two primary elements with this that I have seen from my own, observations, of, being sort of a third-party observer in the sport. One is like your personal life, and the other is like your financial well-being. Now, the personal life, this varies to different degrees, and it's pretty much, it's not just relegated to tournament anglers. It can be just recreational anglers as both, but tournament anglers seem to suffer about this more. There are an alarming number of anglers, and there always have been out there, that they prioritize their fishing before anything else in their life. And their addiction to fishing, their obsession with bass fishing, especially on a tournament level, comes at a price. Basically, you're going to sacrifice time with your family to do so. Make no mistake about it, guys. I'll tell you this right off the bat. Tournament fishing, professional bass fishing, especially on a tour level, is an extremely selfish sport. It's an extremely self-centered sport, and people around you suffer because of that. If you're a hard-charging, hardcore tournament angler that's ate up with it, your relationships with your friends and family and children are going to suffer. And one of the things I want to suggest here, and one of the things I want to run by you, is like it's not that big of a deal if you set yourself up, if you set your life up to fish, and that is being single, having no wife, no girlfriend, no kids, no obligations where you can spend your time fishing. But if you have a family, if you have a some type of a relationship, especially if you have children, you have an obligation to prioritize that over fishing. And there's a lot of guys out there, it would surprise you, that don't. Their families become second to their careers. And the thing about that, it's like a lot of these people get so focused on pushing forward and trying to be better and better and trying to be number one, is, like I said, everything else gets left on the back burner. It's like they miss the kids' ball games, they miss the kids' functions. I've seen pros out there that have even missed the birth of their own kids because they were at a tournament, and everything in between, special events in their life. And in doing so, it's like, it's not worth it, because the time that you have with your friends and family are the most valuable moments in your life. And the more that you take away from that, and the more that you put that on the back burner to fishing, it basically undermines everything that is really important in life. And when you are lying on your deathbed, if you live to be 90 years old or whatever like that, you're not going to look back and say, well, man, if I had just fished more, I'd have finished higher in the Angler of the Year points. Or if I just fished more, I would have, qualified for that championship. You're not going to be saying that. You're going to be saying, man, I really regret not spending more time, playing catch with my son when he was 8 years old. Or, really, regret the fact I didn't, spend more time just hanging out with my family. And on top of that, another thing that I found out about a lot of anglers that tend to be selfish like that with their family time is they also hunt. And when they're not fishing, they're hunting. And so it never stops. It's like they start fishing at the first of the year, they're fishing tournaments, they're practicing for tournaments, they're fishing fun. When they're not fishing fun, they're out scouting for deer, they're setting up deer stands, they're deer hunting, they're turkey hunting. It's just like, guys, you can't let fishing and hunting control or run your life at the expense of your family. And that's just, I've observed that so many times out there that it's just like, and that's why the divorce rates for bass anglers are so high. And not just the divorce rates, but just the disgruntled family members they have with that, and the kids that wind up spending, they only spend half of their lives growing up, with their dads because their dads are out fishing tournaments all the time. So remember that in the big picture. Second to that, another destructive element fishing can have is the financial burden it places on. Now, everything's expensive in fishing, especially if you're a tournament angler. I mean, the boats we have now are ridiculous. The entry fees are ridiculous. The expenses we have, fishing tournaments are ridiculous, or just fishing. Don't put yourself in a position where you stress yourself out financially to make that boat or truck payment or insurance payment, or strapping yourself for paying all these entry fees. It ain't worth it. You have to live within your means with tournament angling, and tournament angling should take a back seat to the more important things in life. And I just think a lot of people, they don't prioritize their personal and financial life in bass fishing the way they should. And the reason they don't is because bass fishing, especially tournament fishing, can be super addictive, especially if you've tasted success. If you've been fortunate enough to be successful in the sport, like guys like myself that have qualified for Bassmaster Classics and won Bassmaster tournaments, I can tell you from my own personal experience from winning Bassmaster tournaments and qualifying for classics and being in positions to win Bassmaster Classics, there is an adrenaline rush and an endorphin rush that comes with that is like heroin. It's just like drugs. And when you feel that, you want that feeling over and over again. And that's when all this other stuff goes downhill. That's when your personal life goes downhill and your financial life goes downhill. It was when you totally chase that. So you got to be extremely aware of that. And I have seen it over and over and over again about people that they should have gotten out of the sport a long time ago. They should have quit fishing tournaments a long time ago. And as a result, because of that addiction, they wind up losing their family, they wind up losing their house, they wind up, going broke fishing tournaments. There's a list of dudes a mile long that can fall into that category. But the point is, guys, is what I want to make here is if you're one of those hard charging bass fishermen that's just ate up with it, it ain't worth it. You got to learn to reprioritize your life, put bass fishing on the back burner, and make time for it when it doesn't interfere with any other thing. And I'll say this one other time, all you guys out there that are tournament anglers or aspiring tournament anglers, especially the aspiring tournament anglers, because if you're already a tournament angler and you're in this category, there's not much you can do with it. If you want to be a professional bass angler, you need to be single. You don't need a girlfriend. You don't need a wife. You don't need a husband. If you're a female angler, you don't need to have responsibilities personally with other family members, because it is selfish. It is a selfish sport. I can say that. I've earned the right to say that because I've done it for 35 years. I know. So if you're really wanting to focus on your fishing where you can elevate it to the highest level without leaving any victims in the wake of your selfishness of pursuing that sport, you have to do that. I mean, that's the only fair way to do it, because it's not fair to anybody's kids. It's not fair to your spouse for you to run off and spend half the year, chasing bass all over the country. It just ain't worth it. So anyway, guys, that's just my 2 cents worth, my advice that I give you all out there. Hard-earned advice from myself and others. And hopefully the right people that need to hear it will listen to this. So talk to you guys later. See you.